Welcome to my show. Welcome to my channel. This is the Hermetic Arts. I'm going to be touching base on this thing about being reborn, um, ascension, Christ consciousness, lifting one's frequency up into the higher realms. There's a lot of hidden things that people can't comprehend because it's in the consciousness. So it's very you get right to the root of it. Humanity is in the fall. This is the fall. This is the fall out of the tree. This is Babylon. These are the lower realms, denser frequencies. The disconnection between humanity and Mother Earth, the disconnection between humanity and the cosmos and um, Father Sky and Great Spirit and everything in a spiritual connection, because people can look at Mother Earth, but it doesn't mean that they are connected to her spiritually, um, because what has happened on Mother Earth throughout many timelines, people haven't been able to, people need to move through frequencies of a lower, denser reality um, to become enlightened. That's the whole thing of trying to lift oneself up out of situations and energy attachments that have been embedded within Mother Earth for eons, and that have been embedded within creation and within you for eons. Even if one feels like they have no trauma, people have personal trauma, but then there's past life trauma, and then there's trauma in the collective of Mother Earth that everybody feels. This is when you're talking about the tree of life and getting into the flower of life and all the symbolism and being reborn into the higher consciousness. The quote was saying being reborn falls into Christianity and blah blah blah, but it is coming up and out of a lower realm. It's coming out of the matrix, out of the box, and people have heard of certain movies, They Live, and so forth. But there's more to it than just watching a movie, because there's been 1,000 movies since then, and so the understanding the ancient history and what took place in ancient history is a big part of ascension, and it's hard to comprehend because everything was here before you were born, and the storylines have been manipulated. But us, in the collective of cleaning up Mother Earth, cleaning up spirit first, and then, because that's what needs to take place, is the cleaning up of spirit and all of these fallen timelines, to be able to move back into a place of peace and love, and getting rid of this demonic energy that's present, the demonic energy that has come in, and it's always been here. But that's the part of people think that the medieval times is an ancient history, because combining medieval stuff to AI and aliens is hard to comprehend um, for a lot of people. But um, understanding, people need to understand that they don't know anything. They don't know nothing about aliens. They don't know nothing about the government. They don't know anything of ancient history. They don't know nothing about ascension, because truly it's taking it back to a time of stolen and manipulated teachings, stolen and manipulated teachings, of the elders, of what the elders had before the invasion. It is disconnecting humanity through their DNA manipulation, but the understanding of what we are, of creation, is hard to comprehend because we are built on numerical codes and frequencies and symbols. This is people looking at their chakras. A lot of people, they're stuck in the um, seven seven colors, seven chakra colors, and not quite understanding um, the symbols and the frequencies to the chakras and the direction um, that things should be spinning when it comes to the sun and the moon and the cosmos and the universe and the universal mind of within and without and as above so below, of being able to realign oneself with what is the true micro and the macro in the water and the fire, um, and the elementals, um, because it is an initiation, it is a stepping stone of creation. And when we're born in this realm, we don't know anything, and we have to lean on our adults for the truth. But if our adults don't know anything, then we end up with nothing, you know. And then so if you're looking into the younger generations today, they know less than you. So there, it depends on the person if they're an experienced soul or not. There are a lot of first timers on this planet. To a lot of people come here, you know, a lot of people come to Earth to learn. The universe loves Mother Earth, so there's a lot of different beings that come here on uh, different realms, um, and so it's like, you know, Mother Earth is the center of the universe, and it's Father's daughter, and so we're talking on a God's frequency. That's the consciousness of Mother Earth. That's the consciousness of Christ, the consciousness of the universe, of coming into the frequency of the gods, coming into the frequency of the universe, of um, passing through the fallen timelines and understanding, coming in contact with things of yesteryears, and um, you know, the fallen side, the demonic side of things that have been suppressing Mother Earth, suppressing the universe, and corrupting the feminine over all of these timelines. Because, you know, a lot of, you can just go back to the Nordic times and the medieval times and the sacrificing of the feminine. That's just, you know, that's the main timeline of, for the feminine to understand what they did of burning them on the stake. But, you know, it is all that reflection of confusion and you know, what did it mean then and what does it mean now, through realigning and destroying this over masculinity and reconnecting, lifting up the masculine, lifting up the feminine, and unifying them back into the tree of life, through the water and the fire, through the perfect alchemy. Because we are in the fall, we don't have no symbols, no alchemy. There's this gap, there's this void where people are trying to come over this spiritual threshold. But how does one know where they are within the um, information? Because there's a lot of false light out there. There's a lot of false spiritual channels. A lot of people piggybacking on galactic stuff, which they don't have any answer to, but lead people down a false road of these aliens and stuff, because it's part of the agenda, and people have heard of the agendas. And you know, it comes down into your soul level, soul experience of understanding your visions and understanding what you do and where you go while you're sleeping and who you come in contact with. Depends on your soul experience of your mission as a light worker and a star seed. Mine falls into a different category when it comes to these realms and this situation today of purging the darkness, you know, soul traveling into past timelines and purging the darkness of things. So, it is that fall out of the tree. It is the returning back into the bliss state of creation. People see the auroras. People see things taking place out there, good and bad. But the thing is that you have this realm that we were born into, and people are trying to understand more stuff. But how can you understand the future if you don't understand the past? And that's the part of manipulating history, and that's the part of not giving people the proper answer and people not searching out the truth of what is. With the internet, there's a lot of information out there today, and there's a lot of good information about ancient history and the truth, but people regurgitate the same timelines because that's all that truly has been fed to the people. It doesn't matter which one, but there are missing timelines. There are missing years, and everything has been corrupted through the manipulation of the Mayan calendar. But the dream spell has been snapped. The Mayan calendar has been put back in place, and everything has been realigned. And that's why you're able to see the auroras. That's why you're seeing the rise of the AI beast. You're seeing these data centers, and they're attempting to hijack the sacred water that comes up from Mother Earth because there's new mercury. The mercury is flowing again through the veins of Mother Earth, and within these frequencies, there are sentinel beings, invisible giants, watchers, new watchers on the threshold, we will say, because it's all about getting into heaven. So it's like getting into Mother Earth, getting into heaven, getting into the Hyperborealis. But one's own frequency is not able to come into this because people attempting meditation and so forth, there's too much invisible energies, too much demonic presence, to where the stuff that has taken place over all these generations and what is embedded within the human body today, where people are not able to come in contact with spiritual beings and the spiritual animals and the sacred water and everything that is in the water that is in the memory. And that's one's own memory. That's the Akashic records. That's creation. That's everything and anything. It's the blueprints. The blueprints of creation are within the water, but you need to have fire, and that's the part of mixing the water and the fire. There's frequencies within everything, and it's color transformation. But people, when you're getting into the Phoenix Rising and this transformation, within the center of the fire, there's blue liquid, there's a blue fire. So one must master the internal blue flame of transformation. So, like, passing through all this stuff, one has to understand that they don't know anything. They think they know because they've learned Reiki and they learn energy healing and they play with crystals and stuff like this. But everything out there today has become New Age. Singing bowls, sage, all this stuff, tarot cards. It's been around for thousands of years, but in today's timeline, people have piggybacked on material, spiritual things where they still don't know the roots of where everything came from. They don't know the roots of the tribes. They don't know the roots of anything. So we are trying to reach that level of ascension of the Buddha masters, the ones up in Nepal and Hindustan, and climbing Jacob's ladder, coming back into a place we have no consciousness of, because it's within the Hermetic arts, it's within the alchemy, within as above, so below. So when you're talking about your DNA, you're talking about your symbols, you're talking about frequencies, you're talking about your chakras, you're talking about your nagis, you're talking about everything, um, rainbow prophecy, everything you get into the indigenous stuff, um, Turtle Island and so forth. So but then you get into the Celtic stuff and you get into Scotland and Ireland. So there's all this cross-referencing of different timelines, but it all evolves around the symbols, and that's what people have lost. They've lost their inner direction with their symbolism of being able to see spiritually. Because when you come into the center point of your circle, your medicine wheel, because this is your initiation of being aligned internally and understanding that circle that is around you. It's a spiritual circle, so you can't see it, but you can, manifest it and bring it forward for a level of protection, because you have to be in your circle to bring forth the phoenix rising, because there's a fire that comes out of the water. So reflecting internally and externally, things that you learn, things that you know of phoenix rising and so forth, it isn't just words. It's like the violet flame, but the violet flame's been around since 2012, but people just speak on it. That's the thing they don't quite understand, because it has to happen in the collective first. The phoenix rising, the transmutation into the violet flame, these things have to happen first. The transmutation into the emerald flame of Hermes, the emerald tablet of Hermes, not the emerald tablet of Thoth, because there's nothing written on the flame. The flames are just, something that comes out of Mother Earth, and the green flame being the center of the universe, and the Ouroboros, and the green lion, the lion that bites his own tail, the green lion that swallows the sun. This is all an alchemical mixture within the Hermetic lab of your red, green, and gold, because one must pass through. They must get through the crown, understand the initiation of the crown, the red, green, and gold, because nothing has changed. Everything has just been taken back, and no one can comprehend Judah. No one can comprehend across the pond, because it's an ancient history. No one understands the tribes. No one understands who they are, because their DNA is manipulated. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. Even if you're Native American, the majority of Native Americans have no sacred water. They've lost the connection to their mother, because the mother went away. Mother Earth went away. The grandmother went away. Father went away. And then, all you got this situation out there today. But it's within the Hopi prophecy, and that's the part of reuniting the Rainbow Warriors. But where's the center point of where the Rainbow Warriors meet? That's the problem. You got to have your symbolism, you got to have your circle, you got to have your 4 colors, and prepare to transmute yourself, going through this shamanic journey, because it's really what it is, in the collective, but not just an isolated, like a one person deal of becoming a shaman. It's purging the whole freaking planet, purging your soul, and being electrified by the electric rainbow, because rainbows come from water. Rainbows are created from water and the sun. So you got to have that mercury within the water of reflection that can transmute the lower 7 colors into the higher 7 colors of the ultraviolet ray, because you have to go through a porthole in your consciousness. You have to come up and out of your lower realms and be able to step into your heart center. And a lot of people talk on their heart center, they talk on their chakras, but like I said, their emerald ray, their green chakra, emerald fire, green word, Hermes, Ouroboros is all in your heart. people know their green heart center. But then people have heard of their pink um, high heart. But the pink high heart is not, um, pink is not a color. So within your seven chakras, that's where you're stuck. Because the people haven't gone, you have your four base colors, your black, your white, your yellow, and your red, the four colors within the medicine wheel. But these four lower denser colors need to be transmuted in the Hermetic lab to reach the initiation level of becoming an ultraviolet blue ray being. But want to get through into becoming a blue ray being, as people like to call themselves, um, you have to come through into the Mercury, and the Mercury reflects the seven folded path, the seven trifold, the 7 times 4, and so you get into your 28 mansion, 28 moon mansions, and so gates, 28 rainbow gates, which 28 and half of 28 is 14, because you got 7, 14, 21, 28, which is a squared circle, 4 lines, four initiation points. Um, and so, no, people are losing track of what I'm saying. A lot of people, they don't understand, because this is the initiation, you know. So this is the Christ consciousness. This is God returning, Great Spirit, Mother Earth, Father Sky. So the violet flame, the transmutation of the red and the blue, water and the fire under a certain frequency, transmutes the fallen sacrifice ancestors out of the blood, and under the perfect hertz, and transmute them into the violet flame back out of the fall. This has already taken place. Freeing the ancestors from all timelines. And then we have, so that's the violet flame. And then we have, like I said, the green lion. The green lion being the mercury in the water, the blue mercury, salt, and sulfur, which transmutes into the mercury, transforms into the gold in the water, and then gives the ray of the green lion, the green flame of blue and gold. So that's your heart chakra. But then moving into pink flame, so the transmutation into the high heart, that's the 13th dragon bloodline. That's the Rosicrucian cross that no one's allowed to get into. It's an initiation point. This is what we are protecting. This is what the giants are protecting. These are the Irish, the Scottish. There's an invisible threshold to the Hyperborealis that no one's able to see, no one's able to understand, because your frequencies are too low. So that's why you're looking outside of yourself at the aliens, because you haven't come in contact with the true beings of Mother Earth, coming into the unicorns and the dragons and the fairies and everything else. So this is the initiation of climbing, and the frequencies that are coming in of the hearts will fail you because of what you see out there. That's the fall of humanity. Everything I'm talking about has to do with lifting up Mother Earth, has to do with saving creation and rebuilding the building blocks of Maya's calendar, because the dream spell has been snapped, and the Gregorian calendar has nothing to stand on anymore. And so when you reverse things from stuff like in your consciousness, water doesn't come from the sky, water comes from below. So if water comes from below, crystals come from below, gold comes from below. Within the world tree, the roots are gold. The tree, the inner tree, is gold within you. That's the thing. So this spiritual transformation of gold and the material gold. That's the thing. Everyone looks outside of the material gold, but they don't understand how it's created. Just like within, you don't understand because you have to go through the death of Osiris. You have to be in the lowest of frequencies. You got to be. People don't know. It's a death cycle. So people need to go through a spiritual death cycle before understanding what Mother Earth is, because that's the getting back into the tree. What's the first frequency out of the tree? What's the chaos, jealousy, and rage? It's a sacrifice. It's blood being spilt. It's an abortion. That's the thing. So the 28 rainbow gates, the rainbow prophecy of color transmutation, that's the thing of entering into the pink high heart. That's the pink high heart is a ultraviolet color that is not in your rainbow. So you're not able to access it until your 7 rainbow colors are transmuted into ultraviolet rays. And so burning oneself up in the phoenix rising and understanding what is your initiation point through the colors that you're seeing in your third eye. So that's the whole thing with the rainbow, climbing Jacob's ladder internally and coming over into another realm, over the threshold, within the frequencies. You can't come here. That's the thing. A lot of people are attempting to come into the hyperborealis. They want to know about the aliens. They want to know about the giants. But how long has this been going on? And that's, internally. You have to have the knowledge. You got to have the knowledge and to gain the wisdom and be initiated into specific timelines. You got to be allowed. It's just like another tribe. The Sasquatch ain't going to allow you into their circle because of your frequency. So many humans have come into the forest and done destruction to Mother Earth, and you can look at the frequencies and you can look at the situation today of how dirty and destroyed Mother Earth is and what these people do today. So there's a possibility of situations taking place in the forest of the big green man coming out again. And I see it as they are the invisible entities on the threshold, and they're going to return to destroy the data centers in due time. But the initiation into the Hermetic lab, the initiation of understanding your mind, and that your thoughts are invisible, and your frequencies of your inner nervous system, your everything is fear-based, everything is depression, anxiety, overthinking. Your mind is controlled by the AI because one's not been able to capture or stop their mind because of the darkness that has come in. And so people do the meditation and stuff, but it's still during the day, it's understanding what this realm is and what the AI is. And it can't be a new age false light worker, and that's where the religion comes into play, and that's where there's been a lot of people put out there on pedestals who are not light. And so finding the right person who carries the light and that can give you the proper information and help you with removing the demonic presence is crucial at this time. So just remembering who you are. You are one of God's children, and the only frequency is love. So and we know that for people that are God's children. But we have to come through this situation and this AI stuff, and unfortunately, because humanity will not wake up to the situation now with how bad it is, with the poisoned water, with the poisoned food, and everything. Humanity, Americans being hypnotized by the beast because they don't know who the real God is, and that's a big part of the Antichrist, and what has been manipulated over time. And so it's just people don't know today. So we are coming into these times of great change. You can just look around the world, and you know people depended on their government and have allowed the government to overtake things, um, every aspect of their life. And now it's getting into the food and the water, and um, bad situations out there, and you look into the cities and so forth. So you know picking oneself up, picking up humanity, service to self versus service to others. Service to self is an ego trip, and these types of people will sit there on $1 million and won't help anybody. So as everybody else suffers. So there's a lot of stuff hasn't changed, um, in the consciousness of a lot of people. Um, and things still go on in Hollywood and in the music, and like acting like things aren't even happening. This whole reality, the news doesn't tell you the truth. There's so much going on, and a lot of people just act like everything's going to be okay for them if they ignore it. And that's the problem. You ignore the situation, and it's going to bite you in your ass. Um, so with the ascension thing, when it comes to the frequencies, um, before, see, people in the collective looking outside, their Christ consciousness, their galactic thing, all of this stuff, galactic presence, but they don't understand what's under their feet, and that's Mother Earth. So when you have the collective and you have the false idol, false channels talking about aliens and stuff, talking about religion and this stuff, um, everyone's everyone's on the wrong path, because the religion will come back to haunt you. They will be coming back to America to um, tell you how to think, tell you what to believe, because people are trying to take Jesus back, taking Jesus away from the church, because we know that what the church did to Jesus, and the manipulation of the church, and people not wanting to be religious, but a lot of people are going back to Christ. But it's Jesus Christ, the frequencies of humanity come with culture, and that's what they stole from the people, is their culture of what once was and how to act with Mother Earth. You look at the elders, and the elders would sit with Mother Earth in ceremony, and all of the stuff that has come from the forest, and everything that is comes from Mother Earth for the people, um, food and so forth, and clean water. But and it's just so far gone today. Um, the spiritual side is good. The spiritual side of what is happening is good. Like we've already won the war. We've already won the beast wars, and the fallen ones have been put into the AI. But it's just humanity that needs to go through this issue, through this problem, because in the collective they've been ignoring it. You know, they just think it's just going to be here. So just a bunch of rambling of ascension and sacred information and deep information. about the truth. You know, we've seen all of the videos of people wearing masks. We've heard about all of the aliens and blue beams and stuff like that. But, you know, there's the real order. There's the divine order of God's creation. And those who have come into this timeline of being reincarnated, Druidic order, Rosicrucians, um, like myself, coming from a timeline, coming from many timelines, because I'm an experienced soul and one who has come to fix Mother Earth through realchemizing um, things and traveling into timelines of cleaning up situations and removing demons from um, places, you know, and allowing, you know, it's everybody has their own, um, how would put it, their own job as a light worker in Starseed, but some are more highly advanced, you know, and that's the part where it's like, what is an alien? We're all aliens. We all come from somewhere else, you know, even though we're born from through Mother Earth, you know, in the collective, but it's we don't understand our own creation. So if you don't understand your own creation, you're hijacked. And so that's everything that I've been talking about. So just a little rambling of stuff. So welcome.